You know, I take no real great pleasure in this. I don't. I, once again, and I've said this every fucking video I've talked about Bioware, I have been a Bioware fan from the beginning. I am an old school faithful of their games. Unfortunately, their games, or their ideas, or the way they did them, something just shifted drastically over the last several years, and that's made it so that I just can't be a fan of their new stuff. That's not going to change my opinion on their old games. I love their classics, the Baldur's Gates, the Knights of the Old Republic, uh, Jade Empire, for as forgotten as that is. I love that game. Hell, even the MMO, the Old Republic, I loved that MMO. I thought that it was a breath of fresh air in the MMO scene. From about the end of Mass Effect 3 on, it's just been shit. It really has been. And I think that this is going to be what kills BioWare. Anthem is BioWare's lowest reviewed game ever. A game that they spent 6 years on. A game that they have said time and again they are putting all of their hopes behind. A game that I'm pretty sure if it doesn't sell the projected 5 or 6 million by the end of March that EA wanted, this is it. That's the end of BioWare. They will cut their losses. They're working on Dragon Age 4? Screw it. We don't want to spend the extra money. It's not going to work out. Anthem didn't, so fuck it. Shut it down. We're not going to put bad money after bad, or put good money after bad. I see that happening. First, for a game, a brand new IP to get 5 or 6 million in sales is you're being very hopeful there to begin with, but then for this to get 5 or 6 million, that ain't gonna happen. I'll be shocked if it gets half that in sales. And once again, the irony of this is EA, to some extent, actually did a good thing here with the beta versions, and then allowing reviews to be released as soon as the Origin subscriber release hit. That's good. I think that they were counting on that being a positive to them. Unfortunately, the game that they did this with, same as Mass Effect Andromeda, is shit. This, and I'll say this again, this is BioWare's lowest reviewed game ever. It's sitting at 60 even right now. No BioWare game has ever been that low before. The fan review, as of mid-afternoon on the Saturday following their full release, is 4 or 40%. That's the lowest any BioWare game has ever been. Either category. Pick whichever one you want. Every positive review from a fan that I have read on Metacritic has boiled down to, oh, they're going to add more stuff. They're going to fix all these problems. You're just being a pessimist. You're trying to be a hater. This is going to be a good game. Yeah, that's not how reviews work. You have to review what you were given in the moment. What it will be is irrelevant to the here and now. And you want to sell me the game here and now, not 6 months down the road. This game is broken in almost every way possible. And at this point, I honestly don't know if it's the Frostbite engine was not built for this, because in many ways, this is what Frostbite was built for. It's built for shooters. The problem is this is a looter shooter rather than a military-style shooter, or just an FPS in general, or a third-person shooter in general. And I think that Frostbite still isn't built for this kind of thing. They had to jerry-rig it a lot. That said, though, I'm honestly at the point where I don't know if it's the engine or Bioware themselves anymore. I know that basically all of the old guard from Bioware are gone. And to me, that's when Bioware stopped being Bioware. When the doctors left. That was the death nail of Bioware to me. But even after that, they still had a lot of the original crew, a lot of writers, a lot of animators, a lot of developers, and they have since left and gone their own way. They're doing their own things now. They have run as far the fuck away from Bioware as they could. Hudson is the only guy left, the only old guard left at Bioware, and he left for a time and just came back about a year or so ago. So that's going to tell you something. He tried to find somewhere else and couldn't, apparently. Either that or EA couldn't find anybody else to run BioWare, so they just brought Hudson back and said, for the love of God, take it back, we'll pay you whatever you want, just please. I don't know what's going on there anymore. And this game shows they don't either. This game is just horrible story. Even by average game company standards, this is a bad story, but by BioWare standards, this is absolute dog shit. The left and right choice things, they make no difference whatsoever. Why even have them in there? Well, because we're BioWare, we have to seem like we're allowing for some choice in the story. The character models and the graphics, they look fine to an extent. You get real close and you look at them real deep black, and woo, you can see the corners that were cut. The gameplay, it's fine when it works. The shooting and the combat and the flying are fine when they work. But the game seems like it's tailor-made to work against you, to minimize the times that it's working, to fight you every step of the way. The optimization of this game is pure crap. Every time you open a menu, every time you're 50 feet away from your multiplayer partners, every time, especially when you load into the main gameplay world, 2 or 3 minute loads standard. That's the norm for people. I hate using current year arguments. I really do. But considering the technological advances and the optimization advances that have been made in gaming in all of these decades, this kind of load time is unacceptable in 2019. It is purely unacceptable. This would be unacceptable in an MMO from 3 or 4 years ago, let alone a game where there's only 4 people per server in 2019. What the fuck is going on here? How do you screw up that bad? Everything about this game feels rushed, and it feels like they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. Part of me thinks that this was EA's plan. Give BioWare a game that they couldn't make as justification for shutting them down. But that would be me giving intellectual credit and planning credit to EA, so I don't think that's the case here. I think this is just a case of BioWare thought they could do this, and they couldn't, and it's backfired on them severely. This is going to be the game that kills BioWare. If this doesn't directly cause BioWare to be shut down, which I'm pretty damn sure it will be, this is going to be the indirect reason. They're going to take away funding for Dragon Age 4. They're going to take away staff for Dragon Age 4. EA is still going to require that they meet that very specific, very tight deadline, but they're going to give them less resources, less equipment, less staff. And then when that game turns out to be shit, That's going to be what kills BioWare. So, some way or another, Anthem is going to be why BioWare shut down. It's just a matter of, is it the direct way or the indirect way? And if you don't believe me about this being BioWare's worst reviewed game, feel free to look it up. Shattered Steel, I looked at every single game they had. Shattered Steel, their very first video game, which was basically a Mech Warrior style video game, that has a 72, 73 average, give or take. Mass Effect Andromeda has a 69 to 72, depending on which platform you're looking at. So I'm just comparing PC to PC here, so that's why it's, again, 72. So it's tied with Shattered Steel. And I kind of do and kind of don't count those at the same time, because Shattered Steel was their very first video game, and it was a completely different genre that they don't do. Their specialty is RPGs. And Mass Effect Andromeda was the B team. So I kind of don't want to count that one either. Every other game that they made, though, and I don't count the mobile tie-in games, that not even going to count those as existing. Every other game they've made has been at least an 80%. Hell, even the Sonic DS game that they made was like an 80%. So this is, even if you count Shattered Steel and Andromeda, this is great, by a great gap, their worst game ever. But if you don't count those two, by a fucking mile, this is their worst game. And you have to remember, this is the video game industry ratings that we're talking about, where 7 is average rather than 5. So this is below average according to the media, which is why the fans have put it at about a 4, because that's what below average is to regular human beings. I'm actually pretty damn sad that this is going to be the end of BioWare. They're not going to last. They will be gone. EA's track record and then this game are going to confirm BioWare is just... In some ways, that may be for the better, because they really haven't been BioWare since the doctors left. At least to me. There's still a bunch of people that say, oh, this is BioWare and you're just being a hater. When asked, it's because they are diverse, or they are forward thinking, or they are a progressive company. BioWare decided to tap into these fair weather fans that do not buy games, and that's not been able to sustain them. I don't know why they did that, but that was the route they took, and this is what they get. Hell, Mass Effect Andromeda kind of proves not only these people not buy games, but they can't program worth a damn. I say that, and this game is worse, and this was by the A team at BioWare, so what do I know, right? I'm going to remember BioWare fondly for the games that I played and the games that I loved from them. Whatever happens from here on, it was a good run. They were my favorite game company. And I hope that the good developers, the people that actually give a damn and try, that they can go on to find better jobs and better work, much like the old Black Isle guys did when they founded Obsidian and In Exile. I really hope that the old crew of BioWare can meet up together again one day and make a small studio and just make games with love, much like Pillars of Eternity or Wasteland 2. Just do something as a passion project and show the old school fans that you still are there. We'll be there to support you. We will. We just want to see that you still care. It's got a little stupid and sappy at the end. Fuck me. Anyway, this has been Math Machine just lamenting what I am absolutely sure will be the death of Bioware. And even though they've been dead for a long time to me, I am gonna miss them. I really am. Peace out.